The man was Hu Zhen, the formidable head of the Hu family. He barked that Mu had quite the nerve using the company's name to summon him. Unfazed, Mu crossed his arms, coolly announcing that an official inspection would begin in 1 month. Mu declared a total lockdown on the Hu residence until the investigation concluded. No one could leave without his express permission. He told the old man to call home and prepare because the company wasn't playing games this time. Hu Jin exploded in rage, summoning a massive spirit beast to threaten the young master. He roared about his connections, claiming he'd just had tea with Director Zhao Mu's spiritual pressure, surged his eyes, turning ice cold as he declared his word was law. Mu challenged the old man to test his strength if he disagreed with the decision. He even dared the spirit beast to try its luck. Sima Sanyang quickly intervened, nervously suggesting they focus on catching the runaway kids before things turned bloody. She urged them to prioritize the mission, leaving the family disputes for later. Zhuge Tingfeng scrambled to keep up as Mu Chenfeng began to walk away. The young man called out, begging the young master to wait for him. Mu announced he would personally visit the Hu family in 15 days for the final reckoning. With a swift leap, he cleared the perimeter fence and vanished. Zhuge Tingfeng followed right behind, eager to stay in the young master's good graces. The senior brother watched them go, feeling a bit confused by the chaotic energy. He ordered Xiaohun to gather the rest of the disciples for departure. Meanwhile, the troublesome Sima Jin was already heading back to his secret hideout. Upon entering the room, Sima Jin found Hu Li waiting for him. He immediately checked on their captive, asking if the young lady was behaving herself or causing trouble. Hu Li chuckled, explaining that his family's sealing technique had left her as weak as a kitten. He patted Sima Jin's shoulder with a wicked grin, telling the boy to enjoy himself for 2 hours while he went for a stroll. Sima Jin's face turned bright red as he stammered that it wasn't what it looked like. Hu Li just laughed heartily, claiming he understood the fiery passions of youth perfectly. He mentioned that the experts from the White Lotus cult were already on their way to provide backup. He told the boy to make the most of his time before things got busy. Once he left, Sima Jin approached the captive girl. The young lady glared at him, cursing his entire bloodline with fiery rage. She warned him that once her young master arrived, they would all pay the price. Sima Jin just smirked, lifting her chin with a truly despicable look in his eyes. He boasted that they weren't afraid of Mu Chenfeng, and if the hero dared to show up, he'd be dealt with. He told her escaping was impossible, and tossed a bundle of clothes onto the bed, demanding she change for their special time. I certainly won't let him have his way if that's his plan. Meanwhile, Kui Yulin looked absolutely radiant in her playful bunny girl outfit. Sima Jin donned his robes, hoping for a majestic look, but he appeared like a masked toddler instead. Yulin shrieked, telling the weirdo to leave. Sima Jin lunged forward with a cheeky grin, calling her baby. Poor Yulin wailed in terror, begging the silly pervert to get away from her. He knelt and offered a whip, asking his master to command him. Suddenly, the door was kicked wide open by Mu Chenfeng and his group. The crew stood frozen in total shock at the sight. Mu Chenfeng awkwardly suggested they return in 30 minutes to let the two finish their game. The brothers immediately started filming everything for their social media followers. They couldn't leave. This was a legendary scene they had to study for the future. Yulin clung to Chenfeng, sobbing for his protection. But the mood shifted instantly when Sima Jin's furious mother suddenly arrived on the scene. "Mom, why are you here?" His question was met with a heavy punch as she roared about him shaming their entire family name and village. She gave her prodigal son a relentless lesson in discipline. Sima Jin wailed in pain, crying out that the whole situation was just a huge misunderstanding. He confessed that the White Lotus cult planned this ambush to trap Mu Chenfeng / "Mom, please stop, not there, it hurts," he screamed in agony. Mu Chenfeng admired Yulin's outfit with a gentle smile. He politely asked if she'd try out some different charming styles for him in the future. Yulin happily performed a trendy dance, swaying playfully. She promised to wear whatever the young master liked for him every single day. Chenfeng wondered if he had accidentally discovered a brand new world of hobbies. Yulin just teased him, asking if he was truly enjoying her playful new look. Chenfeng wondered if he had accidentally discovered a brand new world of hobbies. Yulin just teased him, asking if he was truly enjoying her playful new look. "Young Master Mu, I've handled this little rascal. We're simple country folks who value honesty. Since no real harm was done, can I take him home?" Sima Jin whimpers as his ear is yanked. He's just a boy, a record would ruin his future. Mu Chenfeng crosses his arms, looking unimpressed. Rules exist for a reason. He's nearly 20, an adult who must face the music. Desperate, Sima Jin's mother clings to Mu's leg. Please, young Master Mu, he's still just a misunderstood child. Suddenly Chenfeng squeals and hugs Kui Yulin. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a child too. Yulin can't help but giggle at his silly dramatics. Auntie Sanyang, I'm afraid the young master's hands are tied here. Director Liang is visiting the Ji sect today. Maybe try your luck begging him. Frustrated, the mother turns back to her son. You absolute dimwit. Look at the shame you've brought me. Just wait until we get home, mister. I'm so sorry, Mom, Sima Jin cries. He turns to Mu Chenfeng, kowtowing with all his might. Brother Mu, I'm sorry for the trouble, Miss Kui. I was a total jerk. Please forgive me. The mother delivers a kick worthy of a pro athlete. Shut your trap and start talking. Tell young Master Mu everything you know right now. The young man instantly shifts to a kneeling confession. I only targeted Brother Mu because Wang Zizhong from Suzhou paid me to. He promised cash and a night with a foreign geisha. After the sect incident, I met Hu Li. He's joined that shady White Lotus cult. I felt like the cult was plotting something big against the Ji sect, though I'm not sure what. Sima Jin looks up hopefully at Mu Chenfeng. So, Brother Mu, does this count as leveling up my karma? Mu Chenfeng strokes his chin thoughtfully. Maybe. The company will decide if your intel is worth the mercy. By the way, where exactly did Hu Li run off to? I'm not sure of his exact plan, Sima Jin admits. He left me and Miss Kui alone to run an errand. He should be popping back any minute now. Over at the airport, high on a rooftop, Hu Huangli approaches the veteran director. Director Liang, the tracking device is officially live on Li Sisi. She's moving. Isn't it risky letting her wander? Liang remains perfectly calm. Everything points to the White Lotus cult being after that specific artifact at the Ji sect. It's their primary target. And in this whole company, who knows that artifact better than her? Hu Huangli glances at Li Sisi, who is casually touching up her lipstick in the distance. Director Liang, she's still the White Lotus holy maiden. Sharing a helicopter with her seems like a massive gamble. Liang simply crosses his arms. We've made a deal, and I expect her to keep it. If she plays nice, she gets to stay near Mu Chenfeng with a bit of freedom. Hearing her name, Li Sisi finishes her makeup and flashes a smile as bright as a summer flower. Besides, Liang adds, with Mu Chenfeng around, she won't dare step out of line. Isn't that right? Holy Maiden, Li Sisi giggles. Director Liang is absolutely correct. I've worked too hard for this freedom to throw it away now. She turns toward the exit. It's getting late. Shouldn't we be heading to Yanbei for your business trip? Liang pats Hu Huangli's shoulder. Send a team of cleaners to the Ji sect for the final sweep. We can't just leave all the dirty work to Mu Chenfeng, can we? The helicopter roars to life. Meanwhile, a man in glasses sends out an urgent text. All Yuzhou cleaners cancel your leave. Report to the Ji sect within 24 hours. No exceptions. Back on the street, Hu Li is deep in thought. He's counting the minutes. The cult leader should have called by now. Why is the phone so silent? He looks up and freezes. His safe house is already crawling with people. He knew Mu Chenfeng was fast, but the company's efficiency is reaching a whole new level. You're surrounded, kid. Hands up. Two elders materialize behind him. Come home to the Hu family, and maybe we'll go easy on you. Hu Li immediately drops into a combat stance. You old geezers again? Does the company really have this much pull? You think 2 or 3 of you can catch me? Hilarious, Hu Li sneers. Don't forget I'm the Hu family's once-in-a-century genius. Just give me a little more time and I'll blow past your levels. The elder scowls. A genius who loses his way is worth less than a fool who stays the path. Hu Li, high above Zhuge Tingfeng, watches the verbal sparring with a smirk. Head of the Hu family, the Qimen formation's locked in. We've completely isolated the area from the outside world. Zhuge's face lights up with excitement. It's showtime, let's move. The elder quickly weaves a hand seal. I summon the great spirit of the Hu family to manifest. Aura explodes from the elder as his inner spirit beast awakens. Hu Tianlong, help me suppress this brat. They charge in for close combat. Hu Lai roars, Hu Tianba, you just won't quit, will you? I'll have third great Granny Hu settle this debt. Tianba snaps back. I tried to save your reputation in front of outsiders, but you're a lost cause. Framing your kin stealing sacred tributes, Granny Chin. You're coming with me to confess everything to great Granny. Hu Li lunges forward. I'm never going back. Witness the power I've cultivated. The clash is intense. Your heart is corrupted, the elder grunts. Even with 5 more years, these dark methods will never lead to true enlightenment. He pins Hu Li's arms, ready to end it. But Hu Li isn't finished. With a sudden burst of power, he knocks the elder back. True enlightenment. Who needs that junk anyway? I choose my own path. Watching from afar, Mu Chenfeng observes. Ah, so spirit mediums use a pact to let spirits possess them. They trade soul power for divine abilities and physical mastery. Interesting style. In this era of fading spiritual energy and broken world laws, it's actually quite a clever way to level up. Inside the barrier, Hu Li still seems to have the advantage. Hu Tianba, you're still too weak. Give me 15 years and I'll be the ultimate master. Just then, Mu Chenfeng flicks a simple coin through the air like a bullet. The coin strikes with pinpoint accuracy. Hu Li's body jerks and he collapses to his knees. Mu Chenfeng strolls into view. I don't remember giving you permission to leave. Hu Li glares up. Kid, you want to die, stay out of Hu family business. Mu Chenfeng just waves a hand dismissively. The company manages everyone. Are you insulting me or the entire organization? So should I address you as Hu Li or Hu Tianlong doesn't matter. Mu grabs him by the collar. If I end you right now in front of your elders, do you really think they'd dare to blink? Would your great-granny really risk coming after me? Hu Li's bravado shatters instantly. Wait, I was wrong. Don't kill me. I'll do anything. Just please spare my life. Mu Chenfeng wasn't exactly smiling as he shoved the young man down. I spared you once, friend, but plotting behind my back. Ungrateful rats from the White Lotus cult really shouldn't test me. Hu Tianba stepped in, offering to handle the mess. Mu Chenfeng just gave him a polite but icy look. Is your family really that influential, or are you just feeling exceptionally bold today? Are you actually trying to give me orders? Mu Chenfeng asked. Hu Tianba looked stunned, explaining that bringing members before Great Granny Hu for judgment was simply how things were done up north. It was an old, unwritten rule, a matter of tradition and logic. But Mu Chenfeng just stepped down hard, making the very ground beneath them crack with a sudden thunderous boom. Kindly get lost, Mu Chenfeng said, his cheerful vibe replaced by something much sharper. I make my own rules here. Don't make me deal with you too, or things might get unpleasant. If you're confident you can take him from me, feel free to try. Hu Tianba was speechless. I will be sure to tell Director Liang exactly what you said, he stammered. The old man's threats only made Mu Chenfeng's temper flare. With a quick kick that sent the man sprawling, he explained, The company needs me more than I need them, my friend. Mu Chenfeng stood tall, practically daring them to call third Great Granny Hu for a round 2. He had all the confidence in the world, and he was quite happy to show it. Just then a plane touched down. Director Liang and the lovely Li Sisi stepped out and approached. That is quite enough, Mu Chenfeng, the director said, trying to keep the peace. Upper management decided to hand him over, Liang explained. Li Sisi just smirked, tilting Mu Chenfeng's chin up provocatively. Hey, handsome, need a little help blowing off some steam tonight? Mu Chenfeng brushed her off, asking why she was already free. Director Liang explained that the White Lotus cult was after a legendary magical artifact passed down through many generations. Since Li Sisi, the Holy Maiden, was being so cooperative, she was assigned to help the main character. The company's cleanup crew and extra backup from other regions were already on the way. Mu Chenfeng was given full authority over the whole situation. Call if you need anything, Liang said, while Li Sisi reminded the director not to forget their little promised deal. Director Liang headed back to the plane, promising the cult a stable home if they behaved. Mu Chenfeng is the boss now, he shouted as the aircraft engine started back up. Li Sisi gave Mu Chenfeng a look that was definitely not professional. You look delicious, partner. Mu Chenfeng just sighed and gave the prisoner one last parting kick before moving out. Hu Tianba carried the young man off like a sack of potatoes. I'm done with you, Mu Chenfeng muttered, turning to Li Sisi to ask for details about that mysterious jade artifact. It turns out the artifact is a jade pendant that can summon actual lightning. Only the inner circle knows it is actually the secret key needed to open the gates of Kunlun. Li Sisi leaned in close, pressing against our hero and catching him off guard. So as long as we can spark some lightning, we can open the legendary gate, he asked. He stopped so fast she almost tripped. Why the sudden halt, she pouted. Using divine abilities in this modern age of decline isn't nearly as easy as it looks in the movies. The young man simply pulled out a small charm that transformed into a shimmering, razor-sharp longsword. It was practically buzzing with incredible spiritual energy and sharp ancient power. Don't go comparing me to the average guy, he warned politely. Li Sisi was instantly smitten, hugging his arm and cooing about how powerful and amazing he truly was. Teach me your ways, she begged, promising him anything. Internally, she knew that sticking with the strongest man of the era was the White Lotus cult's only hope for a future. He pushed her away, keeping things strictly professional. Keep it honest, and I will let you stick around, he warned. But if you start plotting, there will be serious trouble. True power sweeps away all little conspiracies, Mu Chenfeng added, with a cold, handsome glare. He did not wait for an answer before turning his back and walking away. Li Sisi just skipped along behind him, acting like a perfect innocent lady. What bad intentions could little old me have? I just absolutely adore you, Mu Chenfeng. Back at the apartment, Sima Jin was kneeling in disgrace. His mother greeted Mu Chenfeng with a bright smile, relieved that the director had not decided to fire her troublesome son. The director left this small fry to me, Mu Chenfeng said calmly. He then introduced his new colleague, the Holy Maiden of the White Lotus cult, Li Sisi, to the family. Sima Jin nearly fainted from the shock. The Holy Maiden is working with us. Mu Chenfeng confirmed that the cult was officially going legit in exchange for providing talented new recruits. Sima Jin was totally confused, but his mother just gave him another swift kick. You idiot. The company sees the big picture while you are busy playing pretend leader with the rebels. Li Sisi played the part of the kind older sister, gently tilting Sima Jin's chin. Don't be scared, sweetie. Just tell us everything honestly, and we will keep your punishment very light. Totally mesmerized by her beauty, Sima Jin spilled his secrets immediately. I'll tell you anything. Is Mujo really hanging out at the Ji sect right at this very moment? It turns out Mujo was using the stolen lightning wood as a distraction to grab the artifact. If he couldn't get the pendant, the wood was his secondary prize. Mu Chenfeng turned to the Holy Maiden. The cleanup crew is coming. How exactly do you plan on handling your own cult leader when we finally track him down? Sima Jin tried to hug Li Sisi's leg, begging to be her loyal follower. Instead of a hug, he got a polite kick that sent him flying. How absolutely disgusting, she huffed. Auntie pleaded for mercy, willing to accept any punishment for her son. Mu Chenfeng remained the perfect gentleman, sparing the Sima family to maintain social harmony. Escort him to the southwest branch. Mu directed. A fine and a 3-year village ban would suffice. Sima Jin fainted instantly from the overwhelming relief. The old lady bowed, promising Mu legendary hospitality in the future. Turning his gaze, Mu offered Zhuge a chance to level up his career. Mu promised to pull some strings, making the shy Zhuge blush like a rookie. Meanwhile, on Longhu Mountain, the White Lotus leader prepared to strike. The wood is here, move fast and strike hard, the leader commanded. Below Mu's car cruised along, blissfully unaware of the coming ambush. Mu gave Yulin a gentle lecture on her tactical errors. You have talent, but you lacked caution, he noted. Yulin bowed, her face red with shame. I'm sorry, master. I've learned my lesson, she whispered. Mu admitted the danger was real. Li Sisi teased, is that a compliment or a roast handsome? Mu chuckled, praising her combat skills to break the tension. Suddenly a message flashed. The truck was being tailed. It was time to go full throttle. The driver floored it as the villains made their move. Mu couldn't help but tease the Holy Maiden about her cult's rather clumsy ambush tactics. This has nothing to do with me, Sisi snapped. Mu shared the news a high-ranking cultist was tailing them, while the big boss stayed hidden. Drop me at the fork, Mu ordered, heading back to handle the mountain alone. He sent Yulin the cleanup crew's contact info to keep things tidy. Mu called for backup, requesting they capture the cultists alive. High on the peak, 2 wise elders watched the horizon, sensing the brewing chaos. The White Lotus was acting out, but the senior brother stayed chill. Let the kid handle the headache, he joked, trusting Mu to win. Junior was fuming over his stolen birthday gift. I've had enough senior come down the mountain and help me kick some cultist butt right now. Where's your 100-year-old Zen friend? The elder laughed. He preferred the quiet life, but his junior's fire was starting to get quite contagious. Junior offered a bribe of epic poems and rare blueprints. The elder's eyes twinkled. 3 poems. Well, I do love a good story. Let's go. For the sake of the kids, let's move. The elder cheered. He warned his friend not to forget those poems, or things would get ugly. You're always grumpy, the junior retorted. On the other side, the cult leader smirked. The mountain was empty, and the pendant was finally his. With the masters gone, the leader gloated over his genius. He mocked Li Sisi, calling her a mere decorative puppet in his grand master plan. The car chase intensified as the driver begged for support. They're moving on the sect. We need every soul at the temple right now. Hurry. Suddenly, a massive figure blocked the road, forcing a stop. A powerful stomp shattered the asphalt, flipping the car like a toy in the wind. A tattooed giant loomed over the wreckage. The White Lotus cult claims this prize, he growled. Your journey ends here right in the dirt. The driver crawled out, gasping about a Grandmaster-level expert. He didn't get far before a brutal kick sent him flying through the air. The brute crushed the phone, cutting off the report. Too little, too late, he sneered, looking down at the defeated crew with a cold grin. The treasure is ours, boss, he reported. He ordered his men to contact the truck and secure the legendary lightning-struck wood immediately. But a hidden blade sliced the air. The Holy Maiden had arrived, eyes blazing. What kind of mess has Mu Zhou turned my cult into? I never authorized this, she shouted. The bald giant barely dodged her attack, his face twisting into a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. Are you a traitor now? He barked. Cece stood firm, calling Mu Zhou the real traitor. Nearby, Yulin quietly coordinated the final cleanup operation. A car sped toward them as the elders played street racer. Move it, Gramps, someone yelled. The two masters were driving at an astonishing speed. 35 kilometers per hour is my limit, the elder laughed. The villain froze. The two titans of the martial world had arrived to end him. Run for your lives, / it is every man for himself, the leader screamed. / just then the company reinforcements arrived in style. / Captain, we have secured the perimeter. The enemies are trapped. The captain gave a polite nod. Take charge and round up these cult members. Make sure nobody slips away. If even one escapes Kiss, your yearly bonus is goodbye. Nearby, 2 guards stood watch / totally clueless that the cult leader was lurking right above their heads / I am worried about Master and Uncle going down the mountain. One sighed. The short-haired guard chuckled. Relax, we are the Zhengyi sect, and who would be crazy enough to start trouble on our home turf. Speak of the devil, / The cult leader dropped from the ceiling like a silent shadow, / bonking the guard right on the head, / the short-haired guard leaped back, shaking off the shock. Wait, you are an intruder. Before he could blink, the leader launched a swift kick and hoisted him up by the neck like a helpless little chicken. The other guard began to stutter in terror. You are the great leader. Shush now, the leader whispered, knocking him cold with a gentle palm strike. In a flash, he pinned the short-haired guard to the floor before the poor guy could even think of resisting. With the guards handled, the leader strolled inside with a confident grin. Finally, nothing stands in my way. He tossed off his heavy cloak, feeling quite pleased with himself. The Zhengyi sect sure has a lot of fancy trinkets, though most of them are just dusty relics in this day and age. He scanned the room, admiring the rare treasures. He picked up an old sword, hoping for a masterpiece, but his face soon soured. 100 years old, and it is still just a cheap knockoff. He sighed, then grabbed a small token. Well, at least this 5 Thunder token is the real deal. Suddenly, a small box caught his eye. He hurried over and peeked inside, his heart leaping with pure joy. That big dummy lost this ages ago, but it is finally back where it belongs. But just as he started celebrating his victory, a mysterious voice echoed from the hallway. It was Mu Chenfeng / that is a lovely White Lotus cult artifact, he noted casually. What do you call it again? / the leader blurted out / it is the White Lotus pendant. The leader spun around, his eyes wide with shock. How did you find me? Weren't you busy elsewhere? Mu Chenfeng rubbed his nose and gave a little snort. Did you really think I would fall for that? Honestly, you might be the biggest goofball I have ever met. So are you coming quietly / or do I need to rough you up a bit first? / The cult leader did not look scared at all. / I thought my plan was perfect. / How did you sniff me out? / Mu Chenfeng replied with a cheerful, confident tone. You cultists really need to stop underestimating our company's reach. The leader glared, his knuckles turning white. Fair point. The company has spies everywhere these days. Suddenly, crackling blue lightning began to dance around his fist. But if you think a little detective work means you have won, you are in for a very shocking surprise, my friend. The leader lunged forward, his fist glowing with electric power. You have no idea what true divine strength looks like. In the blink of an eye, the lightning was inches from Mu Chenfeng's face. I have unlocked the pendant's secret power. No matter how talented you are. You are no match for the fury of the White Lotus. But Mu Chenfeng simply raised a hand and caught the punch. Not a bad artifact. It is definitely high-quality gear, he teased. Too bad the user does not know how to handle it properly. With a gentle shove, he sent the leader stumbling back. How did you block that? That lightning should have fried you. Unless the leader's face turned ghostly pale. Are you actually in the chi condensation realm? Mu Chenfeng did not answer. He just drew his sword. which shimmered with a blinding divine light, / you figured it out, / a bit late to the party, do you think, / now hand over the pendant and come with me, / I promise I will be gentle. The leader burst into a frantic laugh. I cannot believe they only sent one person to guard this place. I thought the company was falling apart, but I guess I am the real clown here. Bah, he gritted his teeth and spat out a mouthful of glowing essence blood. A massive wave of spiritual energy exploded from his body / I am putting my life on the line for this one / even a chi condensation master cannot stop me now. Monas. Mu Chenfeng raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised. Using your life essence just for a power-up, you are ruining your future growth. You will never be able to level up again if you do this. The leader did not care. He threw a devastating lightning punch with everything he had. If I reach that secret place, fixing my foundation will be a piece of cake. Mu Chenfeng swung his sword to deflect the blow. You mean using the lightning as a key to Kunlun Alfuas? Shish Inikafwer, your holy maiden already spilled the beans. Inwaidin and Isteris. The leader froze in shock before they both clashed again. The room shook as their powers collided. Li Sisi is working with the company now, Mu Chenfeng explained. She is just looking for a way to save your cult from itself. Suddenly, a massive burst of energy sent the leader flying. He slammed into the wall, coughing up blood as he fell. The leader struggled to his feet, hissing under his breath. That filthy traitor! Mu Chenfeng sighed politely. It is called being smart. You are just being stubborn for no reason, buddy. Clutching the pendant, he glared at Mu Chenfeng. We could never see eye to eye. I planned to use you to take out Li Sisi, but I clearly underestimated your team. Suddenly, he hurled the artifact at Mu Chenfeng and bolted toward the exit. This isn't over. We will meet again. Mu Chenfeng lunged to catch the precious treasure, while the cult leader dived straight through the window. I cannot beat him today. The leader thought, running for his life. I need to live to fight another day. Mu Chenfeng looked down at the jade pendant. Poor thing is almost out of juice, he murmured. He really pushed it to the limit. He gripped the artifact firmly, his gaze turning toward the horizon. He is a slippery one, I will give him that. But escaping from the Zhengyi sect isn't as easy as he thinks. Meanwhile, Li Sisi and young Yulin were watching from a distance. Sister Sisi, shouldn't we help? Li Sisi patted her shoulder with a smile. Lesson number 1. Yulin, a true professional, lets the subordinates handle the dirty work. Down below, a group of janitors were absolutely wrecking the bad guys. Wait, those are the janitors. If the cleaning crew is this strong, how scary is the actual staff? Li Sisi pointed toward 2 elderly masters nearby. See those 2? They are just chilling, right? Yulin looked at the old men, feeling a bit awkward. I am technically a janitor too. It feels wrong for me to just sit here and watch. Li Sisi gave Yulin a playful tap on the head. You are such a sweet girl. You would probably help a thief carry your own bags. You are not like the others. You have a special role to play. Yulin's face turned bright red with embarrassment. I don't see what is so different about me. Li Sisi looked over at the battle with a knowing grin. Honey, just look at how you and Mu Chenfeng get along. That alone puts you in a different league. With Mu Chenfeng's insane talent and his family connections, he is going to be a big shot in the company soon. Li Sisi winked at the blushing girl. When that happens, you will be his right hand, and I will be his lovely secretary. So there is really no need for us to get our hands dirty. Yulin's eyes lit up. You are right, Sister Sisi. Exactly. Just take it slow. I will teach you everything you need to know. The 2 old masters watched the girls giggling together. Wait, is the White Lotus Holy Maiden actually on our side now? I wonder what she is really up to. The other old man just shrugged and chuckled. Who knows? Let the company higher-ups deal with that headache. We are just here for the show. Wow, the company really moves fast. We can't let those wicked cultists snatch our precious birthday surprise. Then he glanced at his companion and huffed. Big brother, wasn't it? Li Sisi who reached out to you back then? The elder stroked his beard with a slow nod. Indeed, that voice is unmistakable. He then gave a sharp look. Focus, little brother. You're 100 years old. Stop flirting with young ladies and get to work. The second elder sighed at the sky dramatically. A true master only makes his entrance at the final hour. Meanwhile, the cult's henchmen were struggling against the company's janitorial squad. Grandmaster, some kid is on the verge of a breakthrough. These two just don't know when to quit. Hey, this is getting messy, one whispered seriously. Let's combine our strength and blast our way out of here. His partner hesitated. But what about the rest of our crew? They're too weak to keep up. If the company catches them, that's their own fault. Let's move. Static hissed through the radio. 2 grandmasters have breached the perimeter team. 2 move in and close the gap now. Nearby. Yulin looked at her friend with wide, innocent eyes. Sister Sisi, I don't get it. Why would you turn your back on your own fellow disciples? Li Sisi's gaze turned ice cold. Because they belong to Muzhou. Every single one of them. Suddenly memories flooded back to her childhood. Back then, little Sisi was just a girl, forced to endure the harshest cruelties the world could throw at her. At that time, the White Lotus cult was led by Muzhou. He was young, but his mind was sharp and twisted. Come with me, little one, he whispered smoothly. I can offer you warm clothes and all the food you can eat. Sisi, being so innocent, just looked up at him. But my parents are still sleeping, she whispered. If they wake up and I'm gone, they'll be so worried about me. Muzhou's voice was devoid of pity. They aren't sleeping, kid. They're dead. They're never waking up. Sisi's eyes welled up with bitter tears. No, I have to wait for them, she sobbed. Muzhou grabbed her shoulders, shaking her violently. Listen, they are gone. You'll never hear their voices or feel their hugs ever again. It was a brutal reality check, like a blade to the heart. Trembling, the broken girl clung to him, weeping. Follow me, he urged. Become our holy maiden. We'll find your parents' killers and give you the revenge you crave. Thinking back, Li Sisi sighed. Muzhou really was a genius at playing with people's hearts. She stood up, ready to move. Stay here and don't worry, little sister. With 2 grandmasters on site, things are under control. I'm heading over to the Zhengyi sect to see how the battle's going. In a flash, Li Sisi blurred past the trees at incredible speed. From the distance, she spotted her target. There he was. Muzhou, the great leader, scurrying away like a cornered rat. Muzhou! She shouted, her voice echoing through the woods. Where on earth do you think you're going? Muzhou was a bloody mess, gasping for every breath. Li... Sisi... He wheezed, his eyes full of fear. The scene shifts to another corner of the mountain. Soft footsteps tapped rhythmically against the stone stairs. A mysterious girl smiled to herself. I gave him everything he needed, and Muzhou still blew it. That cult really is just a bunch of useless losers. Her smile widened as she reached the gate. Oh well, I've already found a much better option. Just then, Mu Chenfeng descended the path with the poise of a true elite. The 2 crossed paths, their eyes meeting for a brief, tense moment. This newcomer was Liu Chen. Seeing Mu Chenfeng, she offered a polite, graceful bow. Excuse me, sir. Did something happen at the Zhengyi sect? The air feels so heavy and strange today. Mu Chenfeng stopped, his gaze sharp. And who might you be? She flashed a bright, cheerful smile. I'm Liu Chen. I traveled from the Central Plains for the Grandmaster's birthday party. So, by the way, you're super handsome, want to be friends. Mu Chenfeng didn't even blink. He walked right past her before pausing. I'm Mu Chenfeng from the company. This place is dangerous. Stick close to me for now. Once the situation is resolved, you're free to go, he added coolly. Liu Chen skipped after him, giggling. Wow, you're so young. Are you one of those legendary janitors for the company? I wish I was brave enough to apply. I'm an intern at the company, not a janitor. He snapped back. Watch your tone, girl. Seeing him get annoyed, Liu Chen quickly changed the subject. Wait, big brother, I saw something scary on my way up. A man covered in blood was meeting a pretty girl in those woods over there. She looked genuinely frightened. I was too terrified to even get close. Mu Chenfeng whirled around, his eyes narrowing. Who are they? Show me the way now. Deep within the forest, a life-or-death struggle was unfolding. Li Sisi stood her ground against the battered Muzhou. Li Sisi panted, her hands resting on her knees. When you ordered my parents' deaths, did you ever imagine I'd be the one to end you? Muzhou spat on the ground, his teeth bared. In the White Lotus cult, we only care about the end goal, not the cost. You of all people should know that, the leader chose you. You were born to be our holy maiden. Li Sisi's voice trembled with rage. Without you, I could have been a normal girl. I'd have gone to school, fallen in love, and gotten married. It would have been simple, but it would have been real. I could have taken my family to visit my parents more, but you took everything from me. Give it all back. 3 silver needles hissed through the air like lightning. Mujo barely dodged his body, screaming in pain. Ungrateful brat, you wouldn't be this strong without us. He coughed up a spray of crimson. Blast it. That fight with Mu Chenfeng left me half dead already. I can't afford to stay here. Thwack. Another needle buried itself deep in Mujo's thigh. Here's a little secret just for you, Li Sisi whispered coldly. Remember when the cult leader tried to infiltrate the Zhengyi sect years ago? I was the one who tipped them off. Mujo clutched his leg, tears of pure fury streaming down his face. He raised you for years. How could you be so heartless? 3 more needles gleamed in her hand. I was 18 when he took me. After years of that living hell, I don't just hate him, I despise every single one of you. Mujo collapsed, hacking up blood with every breath. Li Sisi pulled out 6 more needles, her eyes filled with deadly intent. Remember, these, the 9 Emperor needles you gifted me, how poetic that the very tools you gave me will be the ones that send you to your grave. Mujo gasped, clutching his shattered chest. My only regret is not killing you when I had the chance. Even with that person's help, I couldn't save the cult. I hate this. Li Sisi lunged forward, needles held tight. Your precious leader is a crippled mess rotting from disease. Go ahead and wait for him in hell. With a final flick of her wrist, the silver needles tore through his flesh. Mujo let out a final gurgling wheeze as his life faded away. The once great leader slumped to the dirt, his eyes staring blankly at nothing. Just like that, his part in this story was over. A handsome young man stepped out from the shadows. Li Sisi, you know the company rules. Personal executions are strictly forbidden. She didn't even look back. I'm not an official employee yet, am I? Just tell Boss Liang what happened. I'll take whatever punishment they throw my way. Mu Chenfeng and Liu Chen finally burst onto the scene. Sisi, you've put me in a real bind here, he said, frowning at the body. She just crossed her arms, looking completely unbothered. A bind, don't overthink it. Just follow the protocol. Mu Chenfeng turned to the nervous young man. Tell Boss Liang that Mujo resisted to the death, and I had to neutralize him. The poor guy started frantically scratching his head. But are you sure that's okay? Relax, Mu Chenfeng said firmly. Just tell the truth. Whatever happens next, the responsibility is mine alone. Li Sisi's eyes sparkled with gratitude as she lunged to hug his arm. Oh, Master Mu, you're so brave to protect me. How about some drinks tonight to celebrate? Maybe a few extra rounds? He immediately yanked his arm away, his face stern. This is the only time, Sisi. If the cult wants to survive, you play by company rules. That is final. Li Sisi playfully put her hands on her hips, teasing Liu Chen with a wink. No wonder you turned me down. You've already charmed another cute little sister. She then drifted over, brushing her hand against Mu Chenfeng's chest. But what about Xiaofan or little sister Yulin, and don't forget about me? You really are a heartbreaker. Mu Chenfeng sighed gently, brushing her hand away. We just met on the road. It's nothing like that. Nearby, Liu Chen's face turned bright red as she stammered, Oh, my big sister, please don't say such embarrassing things. Mu Chenfeng then turned to Li Sisi. Did Mujo mention anything useful before he passed? Li Sisi watched the young men cleaning up the area before answering. He admitted his boldness came from a secret partnership. Sadly, he didn't reveal who they were. The scene then shifts to the bustling corporate meeting room of the company. The Zhengyi sect matter is resolved, and the White Lotus cult members are now under our thumb. The boss director Liang tapped the table firmly. These cults are becoming quite the headache. We've deployed the scavengers to finish the job. Remember, our company's true purpose is to maintain order. Our Southwest branch found traces of Team A behind this chaos. At that name, the room erupted in whispers. Impossible. Team A was our legendary predecessor, but they were all lost in that final mission. Director Liang, are you suggesting we're being haunted by ghosts from 10 years ago? Director Liang projected the evidence onto the screen for everyone to witness. Skynet found that Mujo met this individual 6 months ago. Look at this watch. The veteran employees gasped, immediately recognizing the iconic A symbol engraved on the silver casing. It was a mark they knew all too well. Director Liang continued, Team A's duty was to protect us from foreign threats. If anyone survived, they should have reported back. I'm officially requesting authorization to reopen the files on their mission from 10 years ago. Suddenly, a distorted voice crackled through the intercom system. The request for the Triple S level top-secret mission is denied. However, the Southwest Branch is granted A-level clearance to investigate Team A and retrieve any survivors dead or alive. Liang wondered silently. Lately, many high-level leaders have suffered fatal accidents. Could Team A be the hidden hand? The board members began to murmur. Director Liang, the White Lotus situation isn't finished and you're leaving. Liang paused at the door. The Holy Maiden is cooperating with us now. As long as they stay in the Southwest, they can survive. If anyone disagrees, feel free to discuss it over tea with me. After his firm departure, Director Liang stepped into the hallway and answered a waiting call from Mu Chenfeng. Mu Chenfeng, once you finish the handover, head to the Hu family to look into a man named Hu Jie. Mu Chenfeng tilted his head. Hu Jie, what's his story? Standing beside him, Li Sisi chimed in. I've heard that name. Didn't he mysteriously vanish about 10 years ago? Mu Chenfeng looked at her, clearly impressed. You're quite the expert on him, aren't you? Li Sisi shrugged modestly. Not really, but they say he was a once-in-a-century genius. Interestingly, the Hu family's guardian immortal was said to have disappeared right alongside him. Your best bet is to find 3rd Grand Madam Hu. Locate that immortal, and you'll find the man. Mu Chenfeng then dialed Yu Lin. Your classes are starting soon, so head back to headquarters with the others. Li Sisi and I will handle the next part of the mission together. Turning to his companion, Mu Chenfeng asked, Since you're so knowledgeable, I assume you know where the Hu family lives? Li Sisi giggled. Goodness, a cult leader like me wouldn't dare bother such a prestigious family. Just then Liu Chen spoke up shyly. Brother Mu, I actually know the way. Mu Chenfeng offered her a warm, cheerful smile. That's perfect. Would you mind leading the way for us? Liu Chen tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, hesitating for a moment. Grandpa Hui, you must miss Brother Ji, too. Liu Chen was currently wearing a pair of very peculiar earrings. The Hu family shrine had stood for 300 years, and Jie was their brightest star. If Mu Chenfeng visits the Grand Madame, can she find you? Since I left the family, I'm invisible unless I choose otherwise. The scene changes to the airport where Mu Chenfeng and the 2 girls were lugging 5 oversized suitcases, fully prepared for their visit to the Hu residence. A distinguished old man stood by a luxury car, bowing politely as they approached. Young Master Mu, our family head, was expecting you and sent me to ensure your safe arrival. Mu Chenfeng blinked in surprise, his mind racing with questions. He knew already, does the company have a mole? The old man opened the door with a polite smile. That is beyond my station, sir. Please step inside. Nearby travelers whispered, Who are they? Being picked up by a private Hu family car. They must be some incredibly powerful young masters from the north. Mu Chenfeng loaded the luggage, thinking, Let's see what kind of performance the Hu family has prepared for me after such a grand welcome. Soon the car pulled up to a massive estate where another elder stood waiting at the main entrance. Mu Chenfeng hopped out and greeted him with a grin. Family head Hu, you shouldn't have come out to meet me personally. The elder looked a bit stiff. If the prestigious young Master Mu is here to inspect us, I must be present to ensure no misunderstandings or false accusations occur. That would be quite troublesome. Mu Chenfeng walked inside with a calm, friendly air. I'm only here to make sure everything stays peaceful. As the group entered the majestic main hall, the elder followed closely. This hall is officially registered for worship with the company. I assure you everything here is strictly by the book. Mu Chenfeng paused, looking around with a playful smirk. Strictly by the book, I see problems everywhere. He pointed toward a decorated table. The shrine uses open flames, yet I don't see a single fire extinguisher or a marked escape route. If a fire starts, your ancestors will be in quite a heat. He turned to the elder with a polite but firm warning. Family head, it's hard for me to report good news if safety is being ignored. Li Sisi giggled quietly behind her hand. Young Master Mu is such a perfectionist, surely the celestial guardians wouldn't let a little fire break out, right? The family head's face twitched with suppressed frustration. We will fix it immediately. But a hot-headed young man suddenly lunged forward, pointing at Mu Chenfeng. Don't you dare act so superior. We respect the company, not you. Who do you think you are bossing us around? I'll knock that arrogance right out of you. Mu Chenfeng simply glanced at the elder. Is this the famous Hu family hospitality? The elder turned pale, quickly interjecting, He's just a branch manager. Please don't take offense. Li Sisi whispered to Liu Chen, I bet they planned this little tantrum just to test him. This is getting fun. Mu Chenfeng just kept walking, completely ignoring the outburst as if it were a minor breeze. The Hu family followed, watching his every move. Feeling ignored, the young man growled, This brat thinks he's too good for us. He immediately dropped into a fierce martial arts stance, ready to strike. Great Immortal, descend. With a roar, he lunged at Mu Chenfeng, desperate to crush the man who dared defy him. He expected a total victory, but a sudden stinging slap sent him flying like a broken kite. "Ouch, Mommy, it hurts. Save me." After dealing with the brat, Mu Chenfeng turned to the patriarch. "Elder Hu, if you want a real fight, call out your hidden guest." The old man stared at his grandson, who was now just a pile of mush. "Impossible. Since when can a spirit-possessed master be swatted away like a fly? What kind of sorcery is this?" Mu Chenfeng smirked, crossing his arms. "Want to learn the secret? I'm happy to give you a lesson right now." The patriarch sighed and signaled his men to haul the unconscious youth away. Looking at the boy, who was as limp as a soggy noodle, he frowned deeply. "Everyone leave us. I need a private word with Master Mu." Mu Chenfeng gestured to his companions. "Wait outside for a moment. I have business to discuss with the head of the Hu family." As the two men stepped inside the study, the patriarch spoke first, his voice heavy with suspicion. "You didn't just come here for revenge, did you?" Mu Chenfeng replied smoothly. "Initially, yes. But now my superiors want an investigation into Hu Ji." At the mention of that name, the old man's composure shattered. He stared at Mu Chenfeng, his entire body trembling with shock. "Little Jai has been missing for 10 years. Even his celestial guardian vanished. What's left to find? You're with the company, go ask them and you'll understand." He paced the room, lost in the past. 15 years ago on New Year's Eve, he took a call and left. He told me, "Dad, I must go far away. Please handle the ancestor rites for me tomorrow." The patriarch had been stunned. "It's the holidays, son. What could be so urgent?" Suddenly, Hu Jie dropped to his knees, kowtowing with a heavy heart. "I'm sorry, Father, but I can't say. Just believe me, I will never stain my conscience, and I will never ever betray our motherland." Seeing his son's resolve, the father's heart softened. He helped the boy up gently. "At least have a meal before you go." But Hu Jie was already at the door, his eyes fixed on the horizon. "No time, Dad. I'll grab something on the road." Silence followed that day. The next time little Jai appeared was 10 years ago, only to vanish once more. The patriarch pulled a dusty box from a hidden shelf. "He gave me this saying to wait a few years and only hand it over when the right investigator finally arrived." Mu Chenfeng eyed the box. "The company was only founded a decade ago. Before that, these matters were off the radar." The old man passed it over with a grunt. "I don't particularly like you, but you're the first person in all these years to actually care enough to look for him. So it's yours now." The old man sighed, a lifetime of regret in his eyes. "Sometimes I wonder if I took the wrong path." Mu Chenfeng looked at him solemnly. "You should know Hu Jie joined the secret Team A. He spent his life as a silent guardian of the Dragon Kingdom." Opening the diary, Mu Chenfeng saw the chaos of that era. Team A had fought impossible battles, wiping out foreign onmyoji and driving back dark cults. The notes were clear: the restoration of the world's spirit veins was tied directly to the sacred peaks of Kunlun. Tears welled in the patriarch's eyes, but a proud smile broke through. "That's my boy. He really was a credit to our bloodline." Mu Chenfeng flipped through the yellowed pages until he stopped at a jagged edge, reading the final entry aloud. It looks like the secret to his disappearance was on this missing last page. The patriarch shook his head. "I never dared to peek inside after he gave it to me." Mu Chenfeng stood up, heading for the exit. "I believe you. I have what I need. I won't overstay my welcome." But as he turned to leave, the patriarch called out, "Hold on, don't go yet. Third Granny Hu wants an audience with you." Meanwhile, in the heart of Yenqing, Wu Xiaofan was soaking up the sun, though her mood was anything but bright. Just stop, that stubborn old man. He's really crossed the line, keeping me cooped up like a bird in a cage," she fumed. She sat up, glaring at her attendant. "Can you believe him, Uncle Cheng? He banned me from seeing Mu Chenfeng and even snatched my phone. Is this how you treat a human being?" "I'm being treated worse than a pet." Uncle Cheng could only offer a sympathetic, bitter smile. "The master has his plans, miss. Please try to see it from his side." The girl slumped back, crossing her arms in a huff. "And who's going to be understanding of me?" she sighed. Then her eyes sharpened. "What's the word on the Wang family?" Uncle Cheng bowed slightly. "Their stock price has plummeted by half. They've certainly learned their lesson this time." "Yo, good. They had it coming," she said with a smug grin. "Keep the pressure on. I want them trembling with fear every time they hear my name. Just then, Uncle Cheng's device buzzed. News from the company miss. Mu Chenfeng is at the Hu residence investigating Huji. Do you think he'll find the truth about Team A? Xiaofan didn't blink. If it's him, no secret is safe. Make sure he finds a few accidental clues. Uncle Cheng looked worried. The Wu family was part of that mess too, miss. The implications go deeper than we'd like. The pushback will be massive. Xiaofan stretched like a cat, a dangerous smile on her lips. For my man, I don't care who those old fogies are. Her expression turned ice cold. If they try to block his path, I don't mind getting my hands a little bloody to clear the way. Back at the Hu estate, Mu Chenfeng followed the patriarch through the winding halls. Elder Hu, I don't even know this third granny. Why the sudden invitation? The patriarch kept walking. She has her reasons. It's not my place to guess the thoughts of an immortal. Finally, they arrived. An ancient pavilion tower stood before them, shrouded in mystery. The patriarch stopped clasping his hands behind his back. She's waiting just ahead. You'll have to face the rest alone. Mu Chenfeng didn't hesitate, striding confidently toward the tower. Inside he found a small white fox, curled on a silken bed. I heard Third Granny Hu was a legendary nine-tailed fox from the dawn of time. So, why do I only see one tail? The fox snapped her eyes open and hopped down, bristling. In this magic-starved era, just keeping my physical form is a struggle. My true manifestation faded ages ago. The fox began to pace around Mu Chenfeng, her eyes calculating. Young man, to reach the chi condensation stage so early. You're the rarest talent I've seen in centuries. Mu Chenfeng remained unimpressed. I assume you've said that to others before. If this is just a social call, I've got better things to do. That boy Hu Jie, his talent and spirit were perfection, Granny Hu mused. That's why I let Hu Hui guide him. He was determined to restore the world's spirit veins since he was a child. Mu Chenfeng narrowed his eyes, confused by the shift in tone. What are you getting at? 10 years ago, Ji came to me before his mission to Kunlun. Then they both vanished. I think our goals are simple. You don't want to see a promising soul like him destroyed, do you? Mu Chenfeng raised a hand. His sense is sharp. Your spiritual energy is laced with soul power. You could flatten everything for miles if you wanted. Mu Chenfeng's gaze turned sharp as a blade. He challenged the old fox. Are you planning to take my life here? Granny Hu finally made her move. You're bound for Kunlun eventually. Let's see if you're ready. Suddenly, she unleashed several streams of spiritual energy. Mu Chenfeng blurred, dodging the strikes with lightning speed. If you can't even pass this old woman's test, going to Kunlun is just a path to death. Mu Chenfeng leaped back to defend himself, drawing a wooden blade to parry the old fox's strike. Goodness, Granny Fox attacking without a polite hello is quite rude, he teased. Suddenly, 3 spiritual darts hissed toward him from behind, as the fox let out a wicked, ferocious laugh. You can't touch me, young man, she cackled. Mu Chenfeng simply swung his sword, letting a brilliant flash of light erupt. Don't you know lightning is the natural weakness of all spirits? He asked politely. The fox hissed, revealing 9 massive tails. Your little sparks won't hurt a lady like me. Without another word, Mu Chenfeng charged forward, his thunder sword humming with divine power. Is that really so? He countered with a confident smile. Their spiritual energies collided in a massive explosion, and the two began a fierce duel, neither side willing to back down an inch. The thunder sword and the 9-tailed fox were perfectly matched, but the old fox's face soon turned pale. She looked utterly ruffled by the young man's terrifying strength. 1,000-year lightning wood blade and a soul older than time itself, just who on earth are you? She gasped. Before she could finish, Mu Chenfeng rushed in and caught her by the throat, waving his wooden sword playfully. How many of these peachwood blades do you think I have? He asked with a witty grin. The powerful fox was now dangling like a helpless puppy sputtering for air. I only held back to see your cultivation style. Mu Chenfeng chuckled. I could have ended this instantly. Now if I tap your energy center right here, what happens? Poor Granny Hu turned green with fear. Wait, if I perish the Hu family, and the company will never let you go. If you kill me, you'll never know about Xiao Jie's mission. Mu Chenfeng frowned. I tried to be reasonable and you fought. Now I am fighting and you want to be reasonable. How shameless, he sighed. I won't kill you, but if you lie, the consequences will be quite unpleasant. The old fox smoothed her clothes and returned to her seat with a sigh. Years ago, foreign ninjas and Onmyoji snuck into our country to find something hidden in Kunlun. She explained. Mu Chenfeng raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised and intrigued by this piece of the puzzle. If Team A was made of our best elites, how could they be wiped out? He asked. She replied calmly, the real danger in Kunlun isn't people, but the soul miasma. If you can't handle my tricks, you'll be lost there. And the world's spiritual veins, they are in Kunlun too. She paused to remember before answering. I'm not entirely sure what Celestial Master Zhang did back then. You will only find the truth once you reach Kunlun yourself. Hearing enough, Mu Chenfeng stood up and headed for the door, ready for the next step of his journey. I see. One more thing, he called back with a witty grin. Tell your grandkids to be polite next time. I won't be this lenient twice. Meanwhile, at the Zheng Group, business continued. Transfer this month's earnings to the Mu family as usual. The orders went out. And keep a close eye on the Wu family orders. Zheng Qi said, strolling down the street. She answered her phone with a boss-like sigh. Must I explain everything? Just squeeze the Wang family out of the market. Suddenly, a trendy young man blocked her path with a smirk. Chairman Zheng, my young master would like a word with you, the man said. A bodyguard immediately stepped up to intercept him. Protect the chairman. But with one quick, powerful kick, the young man sent the poor guard flying through the air. Don't get in the way of serious business, you mutdos, the man sneered. He then looked at Zheng Qi. So, chairman, can we chat now? Zheng Qi sighed and gestured for her guards to stop. Let's not cause a scene here. We can talk somewhere else. Zheng Qi led him to her car, and the young man followed with a grin. You are very decisive, chairman. I finally get to ride in a luxury car like this. They drove through the city for a while before stopping at a quiet, polite tea house for their meeting. Zheng Qi and the young man took a seat inside. He gulped down a cup of tea instantly and looked at her with a witty spark in his eye. Aren't you worried I might be a villain, chairman? Zheng, most people would be shaking right now. She sipped her tea gracefully. You are a cultivator. If you wanted to hurt a regular person like me, I could not stop you anyway. He laughed, as expected of someone Miss Wu trusts. She wants me to take you to Yanbei for your safety. I will be your bodyguard. Did Wu Xiaofan say anything else? Zheng Qi asked, surprised by the name. The man waved his hand. Important people like her just give the orders. I focus on doing the work and getting paid. I don't care about the high-level politics of the cultivation world. But, and he added, I heard this involves Mu Chenfeng. Zheng Qi stood up immediately. Give me 2 days to wrap up my business. Meet me at the office then. She walked out, leaving him stunned. Wait, she didn't even pay for the tea. These rich people are so stingy. Elsewhere, Mu Chenfeng and his companions were carrying their luggage to their new lodgings. Welcome, Master Mu. The Hu family has prepared everything for you, the staff said cheerfully. Mu Chenfeng blinked in surprise. After all that trouble, they are being this nice to me? How strange. He clicked his tongue, feeling a bit awkward. This hospitality is almost scary. A smiling attendant approached them politely. Please let me take your bags to your rooms for you, she offered with a bow. Mu Chenfeng handed over the luggage, though he felt a bit uneasy. As she pulled the bags away, one suitcase hit the floor with a loud thud. Oh, I am so sorry, she cried out quickly, bending down to fix it. Mu Chenfeng watched her closely, his eyes narrowing as he noticed something suspicious about her frantic movements. It is fine, just take them up, he said, though he didn't look away. Wait, who are you exactly? He shouted as she moved away. What did you put in my bag? Panicked, the girl dropped everything and ran for her life as fast as she could. Hey, get back here! Li Sisi shouted, darting after her. Mu Chenfeng ignored the chase and opened his suitcase, finding a mysterious phone tucked inside. No matter who she is, we need to catch her first. Li Sisi called out as she disappeared around the corner. Usually people take things from luggage, Mu Chenfeng mused. Why would someone add something? This is quite strange. Liu Chen walked over, looking serious. I think whatever is on that phone is the real secret we need to uncover. Let's see what is inside. Liu Chen gasped as the screen lit up. Oh my goodness, this belongs to Brother Jiao. Mu Chenfeng's eyes widened in genuine surprise. Wait, Brother Jia, you mean the one who went missing during the mission 10 years ago? You know him? Mu Chenfeng asked the girl, crossing his arms and looking quite stern. I'm starting to wonder why you are really here. You had better tell me everything you know right now and do not try to hide anything from me. Otherwise, we will have to have a formal talk at the company, he warned politely. The girl sighed and confessed. The Liu and Hu families have always been close. Brother Jia used to take me everywhere. Mu Chenfeng nodded, checking the device. I see. No. There must be data about Team A on here, Mu Chenfeng whispered. The girl looked worried. But their security is so tight, isn't it? Mu Chenfeng sat on the bed and smiled. Security from 10 years ago is like a simple toy compared to what we have now. Aha, I found the list. Zhang Heng, He Qinggu, and the others. I will send this to the office for a deep dive, he said. Then he paused. Wait, who is this child Hu Ji's very last phone call was to this specific number? That was me, the girl replied softly with a sad face. Meanwhile, through a pair of binoculars from a distance, a mysterious figure watched them. The phone has been successfully delivered to Mu Chenfeng, the shadow whispered into a radio. But there are other players moving in. Should I intervene? The watcher asked. We can talk about the bonus later. A text buzzed back. Your only job was the delivery. Do not get involved in anything else. Stay in the shadows and observe for now. Just then, Li Sisi walked back in looking out of breath and quite annoyed. Where is the girl? Mu Chenfeng asked. Li Sisi sighed and shook her head. She was incredibly fast and agile. She slipped away before I could even get close to her. Mu Chenfeng blinked in surprised talk about being well prepared. It is quite all right if you missed her, he said politely, just as 2 daggers came crashing through the glass door. Moving like a literal bolt of lightning, Mu Chenfeng shoved Liu Chen aside. Watch out, please. Right then, 2 thugs burst in shouting to grab the girl and the phone immediately. Mu Chenfeng grabbed a wooden sword and told Li Sisi, kindly protect Liu Chen while I go have a chat with these gentlemen. He gave chase as they called for backup. Suddenly, the wooden sword zipped through the air, pinning a thug's leg to the ground. Mu Chenfeng stepped forward with a gentle smile and asked, So who sent you over? The man was sweating buckets, but tried to act tough. Keep investigating, and your family is next. Mu's voice turned chilly. Death warriors in this era. How very old-fashioned of you. Mu Chenfeng realized he was being lured away. Inside, Li Sisi comforted Liu Chen. Don't worry, dear. Mu might be a bit eccentric, but he is a wonderful person. You can trust him. Liu Chen looked absolutely heartbroken. Can I really trust him? Just then, 2 more men began rappelling down the window like they were in some high-budget action movie. I honestly don't know, Liu Chen stammered. Before the thugs could enter, Li Sisi launched a volley of needles. Let's talk later. We still have uninvited guests to handle. One thug managed to grab Li Sisi by the throat. Nice needles, but they work better outdoors. Meanwhile, the others restrained poor Liu Chen, announcing they had finally captured the target. Once the captain heard they had Liu Chen, he tossed Li Sisi aside like a rag doll. Mission accomplished, let's go. The 3 of them jumped straight out the window into the night. The captain was genuinely impressed by how calm Liu Chen remained. You have nerves of steel, kid. Let's see if you stay that way at our little factory hideout. At the abandoned factory, the captain started his interrogation with some unnecessary roughhousing. What's your deal with Hu Ji talk, or I might have to stop being a gentleman? Poor Liu Chen was bruised all over, but she kept her lips sealed tight. As the pain surged, memories of her past began to flood back into her mind. In the flashback, a woman introduced young Liu Chen to Hu Ji. Old Hu here is a new recruit from the Liu family. It is your job to show her the ropes. Hu Ji stopped his weightlifting and squinted at the tiny girl. Are you pulling my leg? Why on earth would they send such a small child to our team? The woman chuckled. Don't let her size fool you. She reached the Hotian realm at age 10. She's a prodigy. Hu Ji frowned. Kid, do you even know what we do? Little Liu Chen smiled bravely. I want to protect our country from bad guys. Hu Ji laughed heartily and patted her head. I like your spirit. Call me Brother Ji. Well then, let's start your first little test, Hu Ji declared with a wink. In an instant, he summoned the legendary golden fox spirit to his side. Hu Ji explained that shamanism requires a truly powerful soul to sync with the immortals. Suddenly, he moved so fast he seemed to teleport right behind the startled little girl. So fast, Liu Chen gasped. Hu Ji playfully flicked her ear. Rule number 1, learn from your seniors. Once you impress me, you can move on to Sister Qing's training. Hu Ji channeled his energy as a fox appeared. Old Hui, let's give the kid a taste of real action. The fox gently whispered, Don't be scared, dear, just let me in. Back in the present, Liu Chen's eyes snapped open with fierce determination. Lord Hui, let's do this! With a sharp swipe of her claws, the ropes snapped like toothpicks. Liu Chen lunged forward, sending the captain flying with a single powerful strike. She stood over him like a boss. Tell me who sent you, and I'll be quick. The captain was shaking in his boots. Shamanism. I didn't know the Hu family had someone like you. Liu Chen didn't hesitate, landing a punch that made him cough up blood. Liu Chen laughed with a haunting, otherworldly tone. Who am I? Just a ghost from the underworld. A massive golden aura erupted from her, paralyzing the thugs with pure fear. Liu Chen exhaled, literally, draining the vital energy right out of the men. The captain screamed, Using soul-tearing smoke, Third Granny Hu will never forgive you for this taboo art. Liu Chen stepped closer, looking quite menacing. We're all just wandering souls anyway. Now, for the final time, who sent you? I'd prefer to keep this polite and quick." The captain finally got serious, his muscles ripping through his shirt. "I am Wen Tai of the Thunder Department." Liu Chen didn't care. She just kept landing heavy, solid hits. "If you won't talk, there's no point in staying," Liu Chen muttered, draining the last of his energy. Suddenly, her golden aura vanished, and she collapsed to the floor exhausted. Returning to normal, Liu Chen sighed. "I'm still not as cool as Brother Ji was." Lord Hui comforted her, while Liu Chen worried if she'd ever be strong enough for revenge. Mu Chenfeng and Li Sisi finally burst onto the scene. Mu looked at Li Sisi's scratched arm. "You're hurt." She waved it off. "It's nothing. I'm just worried about the girl." Mu Chenfeng stayed back and told Li Sisi, "Go ahead and check on things inside first, please." Li Sisi didn't waste a second and dashed into the factory. Mu Chenfeng walked up to Liu Chen, who looked ready for questions. "I'm Little Brat," she said honestly, "and I have to finish Team A's final mission at Kunlun Mountain." Li Sisi walked back out with a grim expression. "They're all gone." Mu Chenfeng hopped on his phone. "President Hu, we have a situation. I handled the culprits myself." Liu Chen was shocked he took the blame for her. "Why are you helping me out?" Mu Chenfeng crossed his arms and sighed. "You've made quite a mess for me, kid." "Does the great young master Mu actually have worries?" Liu Chen teased. Mu turned away. "On this planet, even I have to follow a few rules, and for now at least." Mu Chenfeng mused that this world's technology is just another form of power, rivaling a full strike from a core formation master. Still cultivating in this thin atmosphere is a real challenge. Liu Chen shivered teasingly, asking if he planned to let her freeze while he daydreamed. Being a total gentleman, Mu Chenfeng draped his jacket over her shoulders and promised to book her a room. Li Sisi watched them, completely baffled by the cozy vibe. "Wait, is this bold flirting? The youth of today are way too fast for me." Later at the hotel, he handed her a glass of water to help her recharge. "Your spirit is a total beast in battle," he noted. "You need to stay hydrated so you don't burn through all your vital energy." Liu Chen smiled and thanked him politely. Mu Chenfeng sat down, curious about the ancient spirit that once served the Hu family. Liu Chen's expression dimmed as she explained that after the Kunlun mission, Lord Hui went into hiding. If he manifests now, the heavens will strike him with a lightning trial. Resting his chin on his hand, he realized this world system was seriously bugged. He looked at her and said, "Don't overthink my help. I don't care about your secrets. I just want to know how to restore the legendary spiritual ley lines of Kunlun." She sighed and flopped onto the bed, disappointed. "The ley lines are a lost cause. We searched everywhere and found nothing." The Zhengyi school claimed Kunlun held the key to restoration, but Team A found zero clues. Someone was definitely feeding them fake news. Years ago, Team A was sent on an urgent mission to fetch a secret treasure from Kunlun. Mu Chenfeng was curious, but Liu Chen sat up and shook her head. "We never found it, but we realized Zhang Daoling left something incredible behind." Her voice turned hesitant as she revealed the secret was immortality itself. Suddenly, Li Sisi walked out of the shower, laughing. "Immortality. If he wanted us to ascend, why'd he break the world's mana back then? Sounds like he was just wasting his time." Li Sisi mocked her, calling the whole team fools. That was the final straw for Liu Chen. She jumped up with clenched fists, shouting that she wouldn't let anyone talk smack about Team A. "Apologize right now, or this is going to get physical." Li Sisi wasn't backing down from the challenge. "Oh, bring it on, sister." Before sparks could fly, Mu Chenfeng stepped in and grabbed their wrists to stop the fight. "That's enough, Sisi. Stay out of this and let us talk in peace." Li Sisi pouted, but finally relented. Liu Chen was stunned, though. She felt his power effortlessly bypass her defenses and suppress her energy. He had subdued her without even trying. Impressed by his overwhelming strength, she walked back over to him. "You really are on another level," she admitted, sitting back down on the bed. Mu Chenfeng crossed his arms, staying focused on the goal. "Back to business. Did that mysterious treasure ever actually make it out of the Kunlun Mountains?" She recounted the ambush by ninjas and sorcerers from the Cherry Blossom country. Mu Chenfeng leaned on his hand, sensing something was off. How could foreign assassins sneak into a sacred place like Kunlun without anyone noticing? It doesn't add up. "There had to be a mole," she whispered. "Someone from the top must have sold us out." Now she was the sole survivor, carrying the weight of her fallen friends. Mu Chenfeng sighed, wondering how she managed to live when everyone else perished. Outside, a white-haired swordsman watched the hotel through his binoculars. "Target spotted." He smirked, signaling his ninjas to move in. He gave a cold instruction to his team. "Wipe them all out. We don't want any witnesses tonight." The masked leader felt a surge of triumph. Their hidden pawn in the Dragon Kingdom was finally paying off. With the 12 Koga ninjas on the move, the prize that eluded the Empire for years was finally within his grasp. As the ninjas swarmed the building, the assassin laughed, knowing their insider wouldn't live much longer. Inside the room, the peace was suddenly shattered as hidden weapons came flying through the window, spraying broken glass everywhere. Mu Chenfeng didn't panic. He grabbed the heavy table, swinging it up to catch the barrage of shurikens. Ninja tools from the Cherry Blossom country, he muttered, instantly recognizing the style of his attackers. He quickly took out the lights, plunging the room into darkness. Is the security team on a coffee break? He grumbled. He used the table as a shield, telling the girls to run while he covered their escape. Cece, protect her. He knew an infiltration. This big couldn't be silent. There had to be a traitor in the company's leadership. Li Cece grabbed Liu Chen's hand and bolted for the exit. Move it. You're low on energy, so I'll be the main tank. Just as they started running, a ninja lunged at them like a shadow. Li Cece didn't miss a beat. She flicked a silver needle with surgical precision, forcing the assassin back before dodging away into the hallway. Hurry up, Li Cece urged. Meanwhile, the white-clad leader watched them escape through his binoculars with a mocking grin. The little birds are trying to fly away. Go on, fetch them for me. Let's see how far they get. Back in the room, Mu Chenfeng stood ready with a simple wooden sword surrounded by enemies. He looked totally unbothered by the ambush. Stop playing these shadow games, he challenged. Tell your boss to come out and face me. The white-haired leader stepped forward, applauding Mu Chenfeng's impressive aura. You're talented for your age, I'll give you that, he admitted. However, even a genius like you can't survive being completely outnumbered by my elite squad. He crossed his arms and offered a choice. Submit to Koga and we'll treat you like royalty in the Cherry Blossom country. It's a generous offer. Otherwise, the only thing waiting for you here is a very painful end. Mu Chenfeng just let out a cold laugh. What a clown! He swung his wooden sword and bolts of divine lightning exploded outward. The ninjas didn't even have time to scream before the electricity fried them where they stood. The leader collapsed, gasping at the sheer power gap. How can a kid be this strong? Mu Chenfeng glared down at him. You barely hit the Hutian realm and you're acting this cocky. Who gave you that much confidence? He leaped into the air, his foot glowing with devastating power. The 12 Koga ninjas, more like 12 losers. He delivered a crushing kick. Anyone blocking my path to the spiritual veins can go settle their tab with King Yama. The very next morning, the sun rose over the airport like nothing had happened. An elderly man stood by the curb, trying to flag down a taxi to head to his next destination. Just as a cab arrived, a kid in a backpack swiped it. Sorry, Pops, I'm in a rush. The old man, a master named Fujiwara, was fuming. These people have zero respect. When will they learn the proper etiquette of our country? A trendy young man strolled up and chuckled. Relax, Fujiwara-san. The Dragon Kingdom is high-tech now. We just use ride-hailing apps. The old man just grunted, reminding him they were on a secret mission and needed to stay off the grid. Kotaro pointed at a lens, joking about the Dragon Kingdom's high-tech surveillance. Senior, keep up with the times, he teased while smoothing his shirt. This escort mission to Koga is basically a relaxing vacation. Old man Fujiwara grumbled. A ninja's duty is absolute. I'm reporting your attitude to the boss. Kotaro just laughed. Relax, Senior. With our inside man in management, we literally can't lose. If it were risky, the boss would have sent Lord Aoyama right. At the mention of Aoyama, Fujiwara's pride flared. She just got lucky with that blade. I should be the one leading the Koga 12. Meanwhile, Kotaro finally flagged down their long-awaited ride. Fujiwara's phone buzzed. The target had vanished. Understood, he barked. Just then a driver pulled up asking for passenger 9527. Kotaro hopped in, ready to move. Let's chat once we're there, Senior, Kotaro said, ushering the old man in. As evening fell, the scene shifted to a quiet hotel room. While Fujiwara polished his katana, Kotaro broke the news. Kimura was defeated by Mu Chenfeng earlier. And guess who's lurking nearby right now, sir? A sinister grin crossed Fujiwara's face. I do love the taste of a young genius's blood. He marched out into the night, ignoring Kotaro's offer to tag along. True warriors work alone. Go grab the girl, Fujiwara barked, slamming the door. Kotaro sighed. His ego is exactly why that legendary blade never acknowledged him. Confident the main character, Mu Chenfeng, would be a piece of cake, Kotaro leaped from the window. Soon a swarm of ninjas closed in on their target, surrounded Mu Chenfeng's side. These guys are like annoying stickers you just can't shake off. Worried about his friends, he led them into a deserted alley to settle things. Come out and play, Mu called out decisively. Old man Fujiwara staggered into view, recognizing the 20-year-old grandmaster from the legendary Mu family. Our intel says you've reached the Hutian realm, a major threat to the Empire. Fujiwara growled. Mu just leaned on his sword. Hiding in the dark while your lackeys attack, classy move. Fujiwara took his stance, claiming he needed no help. Mu laughed. You know my power and still came alone. Not very smart. Give me a name before I end this. Mu wondered why their info was so old. They didn't even know he'd hit the chi condensation stage. Fujiwara drew his blade. I am Shigeharu of the Koga 12. Fujiwara bragged about decades of training and reaching the Hutian realm. Mu just smiled politely. A wooden sword against a katana. Let's see who the real master of the Tao is. Like a shot arrow, Fujiwara lunged. Steel met wood in a shower of sparks as their blades hummed with incredible power. After a flurry of strikes, they broke apart. My blade slices through iron, Fujiwara boasted. What can your little stick do against me? Mu casually rested the wooden sword on his shoulder. Are your eyes okay? It was my stick that just sliced through that steel pipe over there. Fujiwara nearly fainted, seeing the clean cut. No way a wooden sword did that, Mu just smirked. It's a bit too complex for your level to grasp, old man. Desperate Fujiwara lunged again, but Mu shattered his sword moves instantly. The old ninja collapsed, coughing up blood as his weapon hit the floor. Your ego hit a ceiling, and so did your skills, Mu noted. That last strike wrecked your energy centers. Your days of practicing the sword are officially over. Mu pointed his wooden tip at the fallen ninja. Tell me who helped you sneak into the country, and I'll make it quick. Fujiwara wheezed. A Koga warrior. Never talks. I love the stubborn ones. Mu chuckled, dragging him along. His phone rang. It was the company warning him about ninjas. A month late, guys. I've already caught Shigeharu. The company was stunned he'd captured the number 2 Koga master. Keep your team, Sasir. Mu snapped. Your intel is slow and your security is a joke. I'm done with you. After hanging up, Mu looked at the old man. Time for a real interrogation. Fujiwara hissed about danger, but Mu just shrugged. My team is fine and our ladies are tougher than they look. Right now, a cleanup team was already on the move. Meanwhile, Zheng Qi was heading home, riding in a car with a young man. As she stepped out, the young man sped off. The Wu family's reach is insane, she thought. They can even pull strings within the inner circle. Uncle Cheng appeared, nodding wisely. Even elite warriors have to survive, and the Wu family was a top choice. He reached out to greet Zheng Qi with a smile. Come on in, we'll talk as we walk, Uncle Cheng said warmly. He explained that Mu Chenfeng is stirring up a massive vortex among the Long Kingdom's elites. Since the young miss is under house arrest, her movements are restricted, so she's chosen you to be her top lieutenant. Uncle Cheng gestured to the side. Don't worry, the farm is surrounded by our people. You're perfectly safe here. Once this is settled, the young miss has a wonderful gift waiting for you. They sat down inside, and Zheng Qi asked curiously, why pick me specifically? Pouring some tea, Uncle Cheng gave a polite smile. The young miss is fully aware that you and Mu Chenfeng spent that entire night together at the hotel. She's a bit pouting, but she trusts your abilities completely. Zheng Qi smirked playfully. Isn't she worried I'll steal her man? After all, I've already got a head start. Uncle Cheng just chuckled in response. If you're that confident, President Zheng, please feel free to give it your best shot. He handed over a laptop and phone. This phone connects to the Wu family's resources, and the tablet has files on this vortex drama. We'll keep Mu Chenfeng's location updated. Keep this a total secret unless you want the Zheng family to vanish overnight. Zheng Qi stared at the screen, too shocked to even speak. She slammed the table in a huff and stood up. Are you guys nuts? How could you involve yourselves in something like this? Uncle Cheng sighed gently, thinking for a moment. You just don't realize how truly terrifying that certain person is, my dear. Back then, the family head did what he had to for our survival. His expression turned heavy as he stepped outside. With Mu Chenfeng here, we're clashing with ninjas from the Cherry Blossom country. He's currently facing Genji from the Koga 12. It's up to you how you'll choose to help him. I need to go report to the young miss now. Meanwhile, Mu Chenfeng was casually hauling old Fuji toward a car. Suddenly, a woman opened the vehicle door and stepped out to meet him. Reinforcements already. That was fast. Mu Chenfeng noted, surprised. The woman smiled politely. Relax, Master Mu. My team already dealt with those pesky ninjas. We're not enemies. Miss Zheng sent me to help, and I've prepared a safe house for you. It's very private, perfect for whatever happens between you two, she teased. The GPS is already set so you can drive yourself there. Mu Chenfeng frowned. Zheng Qi, why trust you? The woman winked playfully. She told me to tell you Miss Wu knows all about your little hotel stay. Mu's brain practically short-circuited. He leaned his head down, sweating buckets. That night, Man, ladies can be such a handful sometimes. Just one night of fun, and now it's a total headache with endless consequences. At the warehouse, Mu tied old Fuji to a chair. Crossing his arms, he smirked. All right, you little troublemaker, now we can have a proper heart-to-heart. Seeing that he was about to be entertained, the old man just snorted defiantly. If I vanish, the Koga ninjas and the Long Kingdom elites will hunt you down. Mu leaned in mockingly. Oh, which big shot? Tell me their name so I can see if I'm scared. Fuji started looking worried. Don't try those cheap mind games on me, they won't work. Mu simply tapped a finger on the old man's forehead. Let's see how long your mind lasts then. The old man shook uncontrollably before bursting into a crazed laugh. Is this it? Is this your big trick? It's a bit weak, don't you think? Mu just smiled confidently. We're just getting started. Try not to go insane too quickly. Just then, Director Liang pulled up in front of the warehouse. He called Mu's phone. Mu Chenfeng, I'm right outside. Mu swung the door open with a grin. Well, if it isn't Director Liang, what brings you here so quickly? Liang looked serious. Don't worry, I wasn't followed. I came alone. As he walked inside, Mu closed the door behind them. Can I really put my faith in you, Director? You can... Liang replied firmly. Inside, old Fuji looked like his brain had been turned to mush. Hand him over, Liang said. The traitor isn't here in Yuzhou. Mu sat down, his expression turning sharp and serious. Fair enough, but prove you're worthy of my trust first. Liang sat down and explained. The company is based in Yanbei, but its roots are here. We operate independently from headquarters. He lit a cigarette, but Mu shook his head. Still not convinced. How did you even find us? Mu asked. Liang exhaled some smoke. I set this safe house up for the Wu family. No one else knows. Since you and Xiaofan are close, I guessed you'd hide here. My investigation into your old squad was blocked, which signaled a mole in Yanbei. The Kunlun legend is about immortality. Liang continued. Sounds like a fairy tale, right? But our research shows that Thing has real powers. Mu realized that immortality probably just meant incredible healing or extending one's life. Liang looked at him. I know you're too strong to care about a desk job. I was suspicious of your motives at first. He leaned in. But after seeing you at the Zhengi sect, I got it. You're using the company to restore the spiritual veins. Mu shrugged. When you're as strong as me, you always seek ways to advance further. Liang nodded, walking closer. I'm not a fighter like you, I walk a different path. Our goals don't clash. Give me Fuji, and you head to Kunlun. Don't hide, let them see you. The mole and those ninjas won't be able to resist jumping out. The two men shook hands. Fine, one last chance. Mu said, his gaze turning terrifyingly fierce. But if you double-cross me, I'll level the Yuzhou branch before paying Yanbei a very personal visit. Cut to Liu Chen, who was panting behind a wall. Those ninjas are a pain. They forced me to split from Cece. She wiped her brow. At least I lost them. Suddenly she saw Yu Chuan walking down the street, grooving to music. Yu Chuan, is that him? Yu Chuan spotted her and flashed a charming smile. Hey, gorgeous, need a hand. Liu Chen immediately sent a kick his way. You little creep, I could smell your stinky feet from a mile away. It's totally gross. He dodged and flared his energy. Whoa, beauty. Why so rude to a handsome guy like me? But Liu Chen wasn't in the mood for jokes and lunged at him again. My enemies only get one ending. She threw a flurry of strikes. I'm taking you down, Yu Chuan blocked effortlessly. What a pity you're too pretty to kill, honestly. He danced around her attacks, making her break a sweat. Suddenly he flicked a hidden weapon. Liu Chen barely dodged it, her eyes widening in surprise. Poison really? Yu Chuan introduced himself loudly. I'm Yu Chuan, one of the 12 Koga ninjas, and poison is my specialty. Liu Chen slumped to the ground as he approached. My toxins spread with your energy. Don't worry, you won't die. Liu Chen felt her strength fading, sweat pouring down her face. He got me... As the world blurred, she remembered a moment from her past. This felt strangely familiar. In her memory, a young Liu Chen asked, Sister Xiaqing, what are you doing? Xiaqing held up vials of poison. You're going to absorb these while circulating your energy. It's time to forge your heavenly poison body. Big Sister kindly offered to help me change before my soak. As I lounged in the tub, she praised my leveling progress. Master the heavenly poison body, and this trial is yours. She promised to teach me the arts of poison in 15 minutes. But wait, wasn't the Tang sect's poison craft strictly forbidden? Their gear was scrapped, leaving only hidden weapons behind. Sister whispered that a secret loophole still exists for the elite. The most talented juniors are chosen to keep the ancient arts alive. She was one of them, much to my surprise. I wondered, how would a master like her cure herself? She crossed her arms with a very confident, cheerful smile. No poison can touch me once my body is fully tempered. She gave my head a polite, sisterly pat as she spoke. But our physiques aren't perfect, leaving us weak for a few minutes. Even a poison master has a brief moment of vulnerability. Back in the present, I was catching my breath on the ground. My foe smirked, promising to be quite gentle with me. He bragged about how the Shu family helped him sneak in. Honestly, villains just loved the sound of their own voices. He promised his ninja boss some rewards once they succeeded. Slowly, he reached out, thinking he'd finally captured his prize. But surprise. A flash of light pierced right through his palm. My flying needle found its mark with perfect witty timing. He laughed it off at first, mocking my little needle. "Is that all you've got, pretty lady?" he sneered. But his laughter died out as his face turned a ghostly pale. It looks like the poison is finally starting to kick in. He collapsed to his knees, clutching his chest in pure agony. What did you do to me?" he gasped out. I just stood there, looking down at him with a calm smile. "It's rude to underestimate a lady's hidden sting, isn't it?" "You've just been hit by my special poison," I replied. He started begging for mercy, offering to snitch on a mole. But some traitors aren't worth the breath they waste. I turned my back as he realized his time was up. Next stop on my list, the Shu family. Meanwhile, Mu Chenfeng was cruising comfortably down the road. "Small ponds really do attract the most annoying turtles," he sighed. "Those pesky ninjas from the cherry blossom country are such a bother. Why can't they just stay home and be polite?" He pondered the secrets of the spirit veins while he drove. This era is tough, but he's determined to level up anyway. Suddenly he spotted a familiar figure by the side of the road. Is that a friendly face in this sea of trouble? He hadn't heard from Liu Chen since the last ninja ambush. Those guys are like leeches, persistent, annoying, and totally gross. He pulled the car over right in front of Li Sisi. "Need a lift to your next adventure, beauty?" He motioned for her to hop into the passenger seat. She pointed toward the horizon with a very serious expression. Liu Chen headed that way. "After we got separated," she reported. "Time to step on the gas and find our friend." Sisi slammed the dash, her temper flaring up quite a bit. She'd give those ninjas a piece of her mind if she saw them. Mu teasingly told her to keep up her polite, ladylike image. "Don't worry, they're the ones who should be scared of us." Sisi wasn't happy about letting such a rude insult slide. "Can you really just swallow this loss, Master Mu?" she asked. He flashed a cheeky, confident grin as he steered the car. "Oh, we'll settle the score with them sooner or later. Our next meeting will be their final curtain call for sure." He wondered why the mole was so obsessed with his body. Maybe it's time to have a polite chat with Director Liang. Then he slammed on the brakes with a sudden realization. A young man was sprawled out on the ground just ahead. Mu stepped out of the car to investigate the messy scene. A ninja. And he's been taken out by a lethal poison. Looks like someone got to him before we could. Sisi wondered who could have done such a clean job. Suddenly, a cheerful voice chimed in from right behind them. "That's Yuga Wakoda, a poison specialist from the 12 Ninjas." Little Yulin dropped in, looking as bright as ever. She had already cleared the area of any lingering threats. Sisi was shocked. When did this girl reach the Grandmaster realm? Yulin didn't care. She just wanted to hug her favorite master. "I missed you so much," she chirped with a big smile. Mu wondered why she wasn't hitting the books at school. Turns out her internship is way more exciting than any classroom. She had a message from the director about more sneaky intruders. "The company sure knows how to handle a polite interrogation." Mu laughed. "If they want to fight, I'll give them a funeral," Mu declared. It was finally time for their big trip to Kunlun. He tossed the keys to the girls and opted for the train. "Drive safe, ladies. I'll see you on the other side." He wanted to see if anyone was brave enough to block him. Sisi watched him go, her eyes filled with a bit of worry. "Wait, what about Liu Chen? Is she going to be okay?" "She's still out there somewhere, facing the shadows alone. She's A-Team Sisi. She can handle ninjas for breakfast." Besides, she has her own secret plans to carry out. We'll all rendezvous once we reach the snowy peaks of Kunlun. Until then, she's more than capable of taking care of herself. The scene shifts to Zheng-Chi looking as calm as a lake. Uncle Chung arrived with a brand new tactical report in hand. One ninja is dead, one is injured, and Mu is traveling solo. The game is getting much more interesting, wouldn't you say? But the third-ranked ninja assassin is already on his trail. Yamagami is coming for his head, and she's not playing around. Zheng-Chi didn't even blink, remaining perfectly composed and polite. She seemed to have everything under control as always. "I know," she replied, her eyes glued to her tablet. Uncle Chung was surprised. She wasn't even a little bit worried. "Trust me, that ninja is the one who should be scared. Mu Chenfeng is far stronger than anyone realizes. The real threat wasn't the ninjas, it was the mole inside." Such a promote. The Wu family was forced into a dark deal years ago. Even if they knew the traitor's name, they wouldn't dare speak it. Some secrets are just too heavy to carry in public. Zheng-Chi focused on the Kunlun files with a sharp gaze. The villain is likely seeking something for his own private health. No amount of power can buy a brand new lease on life. She stood up suddenly, her eyes flashing with a new lead. "Yoi, Uncle Chung, I need the health records of every top leader. It was a huge request even for someone as connected as him. Zheng-Chi just laughed, knowing the Wu family could pull it off. "Nothing is impossible for us, right?" she said wittily. Meanwhile, Mu Chenfeng was relaxing on the high-speed train. A stunning woman strolled past, swaying her hips quite coquettishly. Even our hero had to pause and take a polite look. She certainly knew how to draw a crowd's attention. Little did he know she was actually a deadly ninja in disguise. She leaned in close, putting on her best damsel in distress act. "Oh, handsome. Would you mind helping me with my heavy bag? The trap was set and the game was about to begin. Sorry, I'm occupied." A rude man carrying a suitcase shoves past Mu Chenfeng. "What's your problem? Ignoring a girl in need, how pathetic." Mu Chenfeng sighs. "You looking for a fight? Try me." The girl giggles, approaching him. "Who could hit such a hottie? We've known each other a full minute and you're still acting cold. Can't you be a bit sweeter?" Mu Chenfeng points toward the rude man. "I think you'd be happier sitting over there." She just smirks at our main character. "In the Long Kingdom, we never ignore a lady's wishes. Haven't you heard? The more you push me away, the more I want you. Your icy attitude is exactly my type." She giggles softly. Mu Chenfeng feels a sudden chill. "A spy from the cherry blossom country," she replies with a playful wink. "Hey, handsome, what's your preference? The sweet little sister, the mature type, or maybe a bit of cosplay? I can be anything you desire. I promise you'll be satisfied." Mu Chenfeng rests his chin on his hand, totally bored. "How about you try being quiet for once? Can you manage that?" Undeterred, she slides in right next to him, offering a bottle. "Parched. Why don't you take a sip of my water?" "Drink up, there's plenty." Secretly, she's gloating. "One sip of this drugged water, and my illusions will turn the Long Kingdom's greatest genius into my loyal slave. Just thinking about breaking such a handsome man is making me tingle with excitement." Mu Chenfeng barely glances at her. "Keep your water, and drop the act. Your little tricks won't work on me. I've been on to you since we boarded, so just sit still." Mu Chenfeng stares her down, reading her like an open book. Realizing her charms have failed, the girl reaches into her fruit basket, her gaze turning lethal. "I see. You didn't appreciate Yuya's gentle side. Fine, then let's see how you handle the rough version." On a crowded train like this, innocent people could get caught in the crossfire. The moment she reaches for her weapon, Mu Chenfeng's hand flashes out like lightning. He pins her wrist, instantly suppressing her with his overwhelming spirit energy. A beautiful face with a heart full of venom. Crushed by his power, her strength vanishes, and she slumps against his shoulder. He pulls her close with a smug grin. The guys nearby are fuming with jealousy. "Hey, get a room. Some people have no shame. Seriously, how does a kid like that pull a girl like her while I'm still single at 35? Mu Chenfeng doesn't miss a beat. "When you've got my level of riz, the girls come to you. You don't even have to try. That's what you call a pro move." Meanwhile, the spy slowly blinks awake. "What did you do? Why can't I move my limbs? Did you poison me? How dare you use such underhanded tactics?" She leans back against him, defeated. Mu Chenfeng just chuckles. "A simple trick, nothing special. So what's your name, beautiful?" She lets out a sharp huff. "Don't get cocky. The moment we step off this train, the 12 Koga ninjas will be waiting for you. Ayuya might have lost, but you're a dead man walking once the Koga squad arrives." Mu Chenfeng playfully boops her nose. Actually, I was looking for a way to flush you all out. This saves me the trouble of hunting. Once you're all gathered, I'll wipe the floor with everyone at once. Plus, with them focused on me, Yulin will finally be safe. The high-speed train roars across a massive bridge. Attention passengers, we are now arriving at Qingshui Station. Please gather your belongings. Looking out the window, Mu Chenfeng spots the majestic peaks of the Kunlun Mountains looming in the distance. Nestled in his arms, the girl grinds her teeth. Enjoy your last moments, the Koga ninjas will rip you to shreds. Mu Chenfeng just laughs it off. If looks could kill, I'd be a ghost by now, haha. He reaches into her fruit basket with a mischievous grin. Your powers are sealed tight. I could do whatever I want with you right now. You wouldn't want your ninja buddies seeing you like this, would you? Yuya? She flushes bright red. Hey, what are you? Are you stealing my fruit? But deep down she's thinking, wow, he's actually kind of dreamy from this angle. Mu Chenfeng stands up, pulling her along. Time to go. Our stop is here. As Mu Chenfeng walks toward the exit, a hidden ninja watches his every move from the shadows. Our hero just stuffs his hands in his pockets, radiating pure confidence. You guys really brought the whole squad, didn't you? Yuya looks at him, almost worried. You're too handsome to die like this. Koga's resolve is absolute. You can't win. Just join us instead. Mu Chenfeng tilts her chin up. A honey trap. You've got the looks, but I'm curious about your other talents. Save your breath and tell me who's the mole. Do that, and I might just help you escape your country. He leans in closer. Don't you ever dream of a normal life, falling in love, getting married, having kids? The woman turns away. A Koga ninja never betrays their own. Mu Chenfeng heads for a taxi. No rush. You can give me your answer after we find a quieter spot. As the car peels away, two figures emerge. Matsutani-kun, it looks like Senior Yuya has been captured. The orange-haired youth, Matsutani Shin of the Elite 12, just smirks. You're overthinking it. Yuya is third among the 12 Koga ninjas and a master of seduction. Mu Chenfeng hasn't caught her. He's fallen right into her web of charms. He waves his hand forward with total certainty. Everyone, move out. Mu Chenfeng is already in the palm of our hand. Today, the Long Kingdom loses its greatest asset. On his command, the hidden ninjas begin to gather. One ninja reports in. Matsu-kun, we've lost sight of him. Matsutani scoffs. He's nearby. Nobody just vanishes after a car ride. Keep looking for a company hideout. Just then, Mu Chenfeng steps out from the shadows. You idiots, I led you here on purpose. It's way faster than hunting you down one by one. Gathering you all in one spot makes my job so much easier. Enraged Matsu glares at Yuya. You've betrayed our leader. Mu Chenfeng steps in front of her. Don't blame her. She was just outmatched by my brilliance. Yuya lowers her head. Forgive me, Matsutani. I failed. Matsutani doesn't hesitate, hurling a shuriken at them both. Koga ninjas don't fail, they only die. The blade whistles through the air, but Mu Chenfeng catches it effortlessly between two fingers. He lets out a cold snort. In my presence, your lives belong to me. Mu Chenfeng glances back at Yuya. Seeing him fight to protect her while her own comrade tried to execute her, she starts to waver. My own people want me dead, yet my enemy is saving me. Lord Mu Chenfeng, was I fighting for the wrong side? Matsutani orders his men to swarm. We have the numbers. Let's see how long you last. Mu Chenfeng just flicks his wrist, and a shimmering blade of sword chi erupts before him. Yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night. With a flash of brilliant light, Mu Chenfeng cleaves through the charging ninjas like they're made of paper. You've got the numbers, sure, but maybe spend less time talking and more time training. Matsutani watches his elite squad drop like flies, breaking out in a cold sweat of pure terror. He tries to hide his trembling. Your strength is impressive, but this is the end of the line. Mu Chenfeng casually cleans his ear. It's boiling out here, and you're wearing that heavy mask. Has your brain literally fried inside there? Matsutani rips off his hood, revealing swarms of crawling insects. Behold, my divine bugs against my swarm. Your only destination is the grave. Ha ha ha. The terrifying insects pour off his body immediately, stripping the fallen corpses to the bone. Yuya screams out a warning. Chenfeng-kun, watch out. He's a master of insect manipulation. Even a Xiantian expert would struggle against this swarm. Mu Chenfeng smiles confidently. Just for worrying about me, I might let you live. Matsu grins like a maniac, tossing his glasses aside. Tremble in fear. Your bodies will be the perfect feast to level up my pets. Mu Chenfeng starts to chuckle. Oh man, so many creepy crawlies. I'm so scared I can't stop laughing. His laughter echoes chillingly. Ha ha ha. You won't get another word out. I'll let my own power show you what real torture looks like. Suddenly, a massive explosion rocks the area, leaving Matsutani shaking. My divine bugs, what happened to them? Before he can even blink, Mu Chenfeng is standing right behind him, like a vengeful god. I was just wondering, if you raise so many bugs, would they enjoy the taste of their own master? Mu Chenfeng pounced, pinning Matsu's head into the dirt with absolute ease. Wait, Matsu wheezed in shock. Are you actually at the chi condensation realm? Mu Chenfeng stayed silent politely, feeding a wriggling insect to its own master. Since you love your deadly bugs, enjoy their bite. Yuya watched, trembling in a cold sweat. Next he approached Yuya with a gentle, polite sigh. Mistakes have a price, dear. He swiftly disabled her meridians, ensuring she'd follow him home without any fuss. The company is coming for you, he noted. Yuya followed behind, buzzing with questions about his single status and citizenship. Chenfeng just gave her a very dry look. They soon reached a massive fortified gate. Mu Chenfeng blinked in surprise, wondering, wait, since when did Cultivation have its own vocational technical school? Meanwhile, Liu Chen was tidying up the shoe manor with terrifying grace. This is your new workplace, she told a young girl stepping over the defeated guards. I'm here for your life, Liu Chen stated with a chilly smile. The man laughed, offering 3 free moves, but she became a blur before he could even blink. He barely managed to raise an arm, desperately blocking her sudden lightning-fast strike, with a look of pure shock. The northern galloping horse, Yang Shish, he noted impressed. He called her weak, but his ego took a hit when she aimed a swift kick right for his vitals. He dodged, bragging his weak point wasn't where she thought. A dart. How naive. He chuckled easily, swatting her little projectile out of the air. I've mastered the blood refinement art, he roared. His clothes shredded as his muscles expanded, turning him into a hulking wall of pure, intimidating power. My turn to play white, he growled, launching a punch that sent Liu Chen crashing straight through a solid stone pillar. The impact was absolutely devastating. Liu Chen stood back up, unbothered. Blood refinement. I saw that Zhang family trick a decade ago, she remarked, recognizing his stolen power immediately. With a sudden burst of speed, she darted behind him, striking a precise pressure point with the grace of a seasoned pro. He was stunned she found his flaw. I knew the moment I saw you, she replied. Your family stole this after the Kunlun massacre, didn't they? Silence confirmed her suspicions. The Zhu family were nothing but opportunistic thieves. You really are a piece of work. She spat, her eyes flashing dangerously. He roared, his aura exploding outward. I have the indestructible body weight. I remember you now. You're that brat from Team A. You're dead. His wounds knitted shut instantly, a feat of monstrous regeneration. Liu Chen narrowed her eyes. Even if I fail, the company will never let you go. Years ago, Brother Han had shared the secret. Soak in beast blood to harden your skin, he'd said. Little Liu Chen wondered if blades could be stopped. To prove it, Han drew his blade. Watch this. He grinned. Liu Chen screamed for him to stop as he plunged the steel toward his own stomach. To her absolute amazement, the knife snapped like a toothpick against his iron-hard abs. Wow, Brother Han, you're like a superhero, she cheered happily. She asked if he was invincible, but Han just shook his head. This art is amazing, but it's not exactly bulletproof yet. Guns are still a problem. Han then demonstrated how internal force could turn a pistol into a cannon. Internal power is the real magic. He laughed, blowing smoke from the muzzle. He reminded her that internal and external arts must grow together. And remember, he added seriously, never use human blood. That's a dark, perverted path. Who would be that gross young Liu Chen asked, making a face. Han just sighed, noting that power often drives the elderly to do desperate things. He warned her that human blood creates a fast-healing monster with 2 flaws. The first is the back of the neck, the core of the shell. The second, it can't handle the internal hidden force of our own art. Back in the present, Liu Chen's eyes blazed. Since you turned monster dai, you little brat, the old man screamed, pouring 15 years of stolen resources into one final attack. Their powers collided in a spectacular energy shockwave. In an instant, his indestructible arm shattered like glass. How? He shrieked. Liu Chen smiled politely. It's called hidden force. You should have practiced more. Your body is dissolving into a puddle, she noted calmly. Terrified, the once proud old man collapsed to his knees, desperately begging for a second chance. It was Xiaxizhong. He stammered, shaking like a leaf. He leaked the info to the ninjas. I've told you everything, so please, don't kill me. Liu Chen didn't even look back. Tell your excuses to the dead. Meanwhile, at a quiet resort, Xiao Fei revealed that the traitor Xiaxizhong was terminal. 3 days ago he vanished, right after his discharge, and now his whereabouts are a complete mystery. Zhengqi reached for her phone, thinking, he's extremely suspicious. I have to alert Mu Chenfeng immediately. Suddenly an elder burst in shouting, Miss Zheng, follow me. The farm resort is under attack. Our guards are holding the line, but they won't last much longer. Zhengqi wasted no time following the old gentleman. Where are we heading? She asked urgently. He replied, to the Wu family village. Uncle Chung is guarding the gates there, so those troublemakers won't dare pull any funny business while he's on duty. After a few steps, Zhengqi stopped cold. Wait, the Wu family is a trap? They found me so fast they must have anticipated this move. She pivoted decisively. Change of plans, find Mu Chenfeng at Kunlun now. Meanwhile, Mu Chenfeng looked up, sighing, honestly, these days are just full of demons and monsters. All sorts of strange things exist lately. Suddenly, a young man swung the door open and stepped out. It was Wu Ning, the spirited gatekeeper of Kunlun. Seeing Mu Chenfeng and his companion, he beamed and rushed over. Oh, hello there. Are you two lovely people here to enroll in our prestigious school today? Come in. Let's chat over some tea. As the friendly youth greeted them, Mu Chenfeng sensed something peculiar. A faint spiritual aura. Has someone in the Long Kingdom actually reached the qi condensation stage? So, Mu Chenfeng asked politely, how are the tuition fees calculated? Behind him, Yuya whispered, Chenfeng-kun, this person is definitely a scammer. Let's just keep walking. Mu Chenfeng smiled, reassuring Yuya. No rush, let's see what he says. Wu Neng immediately whipped out a notepad, scribbling away. Let's see. Living expenses, room, board, and meals. That brings us to 18,640 yuan per person. For both of you, that's exactly 37,280 yuan. Not a single cent less. He handed the bill to Mu Chenfeng with a flourish. Since you're the first students we've seen in 15 years, I'll give you a discount. I'll waive the 80 yuan. Let's just call it 37,200. He rubbed his hands with a grin. Transparent pricing, honest with everyone, young and old. Mu Chenfeng chuckled. I've got the money, but I'm no fool. Without another word, the duo turned to leave, leaving Wu Neng completely stunned. Wait, we can negotiate the tuition fee, he yelled after them. But at that moment, the forest near the gate erupted into chaos as panicking birds took flight into the sky. Something was very wrong. Mu Chenfeng sensed the shift and glanced at the gatekeeper. Your uninvited guests certainly arrived quickly. He noticed Wu Neng's expression shift instantly as he began channeling his inner ki with serious intent. Darn it! These shameless dogs won't even give me a moment's peace. Wu Neng grumbled. He then took a deep breath and roared, Wifey, it's time for work. Right on cue, a girl named Tan Xiaoqing. Another Kunlun guardian stepped out of the house looking quite annoyed. Hold on. Go toss out our son's diapers first, she snapped. Spotting the strangers, Tan Xiaoqing narrowed her eyes suspiciously. I'm counting to 3. Go back where you came from, or else 1, 2, 3. When they didn't budge, she clenched her glowing fist. So you've chosen to disobey me, have you? I'll handle these guys first, then I'll deal with you slowly. Tan Xiaoqing charged forward like a bolt of lightning. Yuya stood back, gasping in disbelief. They possess that much strength, Mu Chenfeng whispered. The Long Kingdom is a place of hidden legends. We've only just begun to see the true masters emerge. Do you still think Koga can win Enner? Yuya pondered silently. Perhaps, just maybe, she could find a way to win. Meanwhile, far away on the highway, a sleek car was tearing through the asphalt at breakneck speeds. Inside sat Xia Shizhong, the weary director of Family Responsibility Company. He looked frail, hooked up to oxygen and IV drips. Beside him sat Binza, the formidable leader of the 12 Koga ninjas, staring coldly out the window. The old man wheezed, Binza, I'm fading fast. Is it still so hard to call me Dad? Hearing his plea, Binza turned with a sharp gaze. And what exactly should I call you, or would esteemed father satisfy your ego? Would that be all right with you? Her voice was laced with bitter irony. Xia Shizhong drifted into his memories. Back then, when the high-level leaders founded the company, my hands were tied. All those years of leaking intel, that was my compensation to you and your mother. Binza scoffed at the word. Compensation, don't be so self-indulgent. She turned back to the window, her heart like stone. The day you abandoned us for your pursuit of ultimate power, the father in my heart died. Now you're just a partner to Sakura. She drew her gleaming sword, her eyes freezing. You only cooperate with us because it's your only way to survive. Instead of dwelling on the past, you should think about our current situation, she added. The old man looked defeated. They're just annoying pests. Once I'm healed at Kunlun, I'll deal with the Wu family and that troublesome Yangzhou branch myself. And as for Mu Chenfeng, I doubt the Koga want him leaving Kunlun alive anyway. Binza watched the scenery blur. The Long Kingdom has some talent, I'll admit, but they're nothing compared to the Koga elite. Sokugawa and Azukun are likely teaching him a lesson as we speak.